12 minutes after 9 o'clock, it is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160, 101.1 FM, and good morning to you. You can join us and watch this interview with Joe Angelo on Facebook a bit later, and we'll get it all posted for you. Joe is in the studio with us this morning again, and it's good to see you, Joe. We don't get to see you all that often, so it's good to have you. And Shelly Nippes is coming on in. Come on in. Here she comes from Phoenix Rehabilitation. And we'll put her on that microphone over there. I'll move this out of the way so it can. You can be looking at her and Joe here on Facebook rather than at my ugly mug. And so here we go. This is exciting news because it is time once again for one of the great events in Indiana County, the Phoenix and John Angelo Charity Golf Classic. And, well, you're both here to talk about that. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
It's good to have you here in the studio with us. John. Or rather, Joe. See, I'm going to do that because I do it every single time.
I love being called John.
Do you?
Doesn't matter.
That's a pretty high compliment, isn't it?
It is.
It is. John's not able to be with us today, but you are here, and we know that this means a lot to you and to your son, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. John was born in 1972 with Down syndrome, and there was nothing available at all in Indiana County about resources, where we could learn about resources for people. Mm-hmm. So I became one of the founding members of the ARC of Indiana County in 1973. And that was a long time ago, and we've come a long way, and lots of good things have happened. And John profited through all those years, really as kind of a pioneer. We didn't even have a special education until 1972 in this country.
Yeah.
But he was one of the pioneers, and he really took it and ran. And I don't know, anybody who knows him just marvels at how much he's been able to accomplish. He graduated from high school in 1993 and got his first job in December of the same year, mm-hmm. and held it for 24 years with Gaddy Pharmacy. And we're very, very much indebted to what the ARC was able to do for us. Mm-hmm. The ARC exists today still to provide information, referral services, and resources, information about resources for people with children with all kinds of intellectual disabilities. Then about 2004, over those years, I served on the board most of the years, mm-hmm. for the ARC. But in 2004, I realized that there are going to be times when the ARC is going to have trouble because we have been running on grants and
Sure.
and contracts, and if any of those run out, we could be eliminated, mm-hmm. actually. So in 2004, I mentioned at a board meeting that we should probably create a foundation to try to raise some money when times are good, and so we can continue to function when times are bad. And so they gave me permission to do that, and we formed the foundation in 2004. The foundation exists to help the ARC to do what it does for people with disabilities, mm-hmm. As much as we can. Now, as much as they need, actually. We help them with things like their affiliation fees and some expenses that are unexpected, like a new copier or maybe a new computer system. But other than that, they've been able to do all right. And so we're trying to build up money for an endowment fund. And then back about in 2015, I mentioned that we needed to get a fundraiser for the foundation and suggested maybe a golf tournament. Mm-hmm. And they said, sure. So I went ahead and did a golf tournament myself for 2 years, my family and myself, and some other volunteers. But realizing that since I'm 80 years old, was in my 80s already, I wasn't going to do this for too many more years. And Phoenix Rehab Incorporated stepped in and offered to run our golf tournament. And they had already been running. I'll let Shelly tell you about how they took over and did some good work for us.
Shelly, it obviously has a wonderful, wonderful root in what Phoenix does, doesn't it?
Yes. Phoenix is happy to partner with the John Angelo golf tournament. Years prior, we had a Phoenix golf outing, and we played for the benefit of the Make-A-Wish and the Humane Society. Mm-hmm. One of our former founders was very fond of the Humane Society, so we were actually able to raise monies to put his name on one of the greeting rooms for the new center. So it was actually perfect timing when we had reached our threshold of what we needed to donate, for that room. we were approached, and we just decided that it was time to focus on a new charity, give another charity a chance. So the Foundation for the Ark and what the Ark provides for the community is great. It's our main charity giving, our way of giving back to the community. Outside of what we do for a living.
Sure. But working with anybody who has a physical need, obviously that's right in the wheelhouse
Correct.
for Phoenix
Correct.
Rehabilitation, and some of the folks who work with ARC, they need that physical help, but just the overall feeling that there are people in need, and there's Phoenix stepping up to help. It's obviously very important to the folks at Phoenix to be a part of this.
You are exactly right. As long as we can, we will continue to support it.
Yeah. Okay, so the event is coming up. Give me the wheres and the whens, and how people can get involved.
Okay, well, it's going to be Thursday, August 15th. And it will start at, I think the tee-off time is 12 o'clock. Registration about 11, is that right, Shelley?
Registration is at 11.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then there will be a banquet afterwards, and
With the noon shotgun.
Okay, and this is at Tom's Run?
A Tom's Run.
Tom's Run.
at Chestnut Ridge.
Right, and I wanted to say something a little bit more about John. He played in it for the first 3 or 4 years.
Did he?
But with his the diminishment of his space perception with his vision, he can no longer do that. So he is thrilled to ride a cart and go around and meet the golfers and play the role of the tournament host.
Yeah.
He enjoys that very, very much. So he'll be there with me that day. But it's I can't tell you how wonderful this event is. It's a great day. It's a wonderful golf course. A terrific dinner follows, and all kinds of games and prizes, and just a wonderful occasion.
Okay, so do folks need to sign up ahead of time, or would you like them to sign up ahead of time?
Oh, yeah.
That would be a benefit.
And they can sign up to play, or they can sign up just for the dinner, or they can just make a donation if they like.
Yeah. Okay.
And, the contact information is Shelley. Get a hold of Shelley.
Well, you can find it on Facebook. There is an event created on Facebook, the Phoenix and John Angelo Charity Golf Classic 2019. Or if you Google it, we do have an Eventbrite site where you can register online. Or you can reach out to me. I'm in the corporate office, 724-343-4060, and I'd be happy to email or mail, a paper registration where you could send it in.
Yeah. So there is a little bit of time. So there's time to do it the old-fashioned way.
There is, yes.
Yeah.
We'll take registrations up into, I would take them up into the day before.
Yeah. And folks should not worry about if we have a foursome or not, because if you're one golfer, 2 or 3, you'll find a foursome for them.
Exactly. We'll have some skill prizes and other prizes, not just golf prizes, but some other prizes for, we have some lady golfers and more household, entertainment type prizes.
Yeah. Okay. So is that my alarm or yours?
It's not mine.
And it's not yours.
mine.
I wonder if it's this thing. Hang on. We'll do some.
I thought we were supposed to stop talking then.
Yeah, that's your one. That's it. Time to be quiet.
Yeah.
No, let's see if
I
this
never hear my alarm anyways.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know how to set one, so I'm extremely unqualified to have my hands on this thing right here. But I pressed it, and we'll see if that actually does anything. Either that, or we're all done. But this event is coming up on August the 15th, so there is time. Joe, take me back to when the ARC was founded here in Indiana County, what the goals were, and how it was that you decided that this would be the organization that reached out to meet a whole bunch of unmet needs.
Wonderful question. It was founded in, as I said, in 1973. And the initial goal remains the goal today, was to be an agency that provides advocacy services for people with disabilities, not to run the services themselves. Because the ARC was really so influential, maybe the most influential entity in getting special education for children. It's been the entity that has been closing institutions and having people continue to live in their communities with their families or close to their families. We also founded group homes, which we founded the first group home in Indiana, the ARC did, and ran it for a couple of years and then spun it off because our initial goal was to be strictly advocacy. Spun it off as a separate corporation, and it still exists to this day. Its name now is Community Living and Learning. We brought in a home in Homer City for children especially, with both mental and physical disabilities. And these things are things that go unnoticed in society. It's hard to raise funds for these kinds of things because not many people see what we do. But the parents that live it can tell you that it's really, really helpful.
Yeah, Shelly.
I actually learned a lot these last few weeks. I know we've joined tournaments several years ago, but knowing the backstory and everything that the ARC does, they do so many wonderful things that I was unaware of. I mean, I've been in the community my whole life, basically, but just, not aware.
Yeah, yeah. And so we see this tremendous organization that is coming up on, what'd you say, 73?
1973.
So 45 years of this thing, huh? Wow. So it's an amazing organization that has done so much good for so many. Joe, you and John are living examples of it, and it's worthy of support. And so once again, August 15th, Shelly, could you give the contact information again for folks who want to sign up?
Sure. You can find us on Facebook. There is an event, the Phoenix John Angelo Charity Golf Classic 2019, or you can Google that and an Eventbrite link will come up and you can register online or reach out to me, 724-343-4060, and I would be happy to get you more information.
Very good. Very good. Thank you both for coming in to visit with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure. It is we were not alarmed for the rest of the segment. How about that? It's the voice of Indiana County, WCCS AM 1160 and 101.1 FM.